Hello, welcome guys to our live stream here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Pascal along with Ponda and the Micro Ponda. Good morning everyone. Welcome. It's time for some blitz and rapid chess. Alright, Ponda, take a seat and learn, try to tone down your crazy instincts. So, we're going to be playing rapid and blitz chess. Try to keep the stream instructive. Asterbait, what's up? Welcome to challenge, guys. Anything between 5+3 and 7+3. I like to play longer blitz / fast rapid with increment. So I think something between 5-3 and 7-3 is the optimal. Get enough games, but yet the games are long enough that they're giving us time to commentate and really kind of analyze as we play. Blitz rating, it's a record here of 300 points, almost 300 points off my recent high. Okay, we may need to go to the mine and find some victims. All right, create a game, and then we go to quick pairing or lobby. Lobby's good. Casual 3+2, casual 15+8, casual 5+5. That's an unrated guy. I don't like playing unrated people. Otherwise, that would be a good time control. I like 5+5. There's a 5-3 casual. That's perfect. Jan Dvoracek from the Czech Republic, no doubt. Czechia. What is Czechia? Good Jeopardy question. Yes, we've got a challenge. A critical against the King's Indian is e4 if he lets me play. But I prefer to play this, which is just kind of anti-theoretical. I don't get involved in heavy, convoluted, closed positions in a blitz game, which I find very difficult to play. The c6 is a move I've seen quite a bit. I don't really understand it, to be honest. But it's actually okay if you pair it with a6 and b5, I think. Sometimes you see people play queen a5. That seems very artificial, in my opinion. There's not a great square in the King's Indian for the queen on c7, I think. I like the fact that my rook is facing off of the queen on the c file, potentially. I'm not sure how that's going to necessarily open up, though. Alright, this is kind of an unusual setup for me. Normally I would play my queen to c2 and probably rook fd1. Here I've got the rook to c1 quickly. This is useful. If he ever closes the center, we've got 92 with a good game. He's trying to play without releasing the tension. c5. Looks quite reasonable. I guess black could play bishop e6 here. Though then there's tactics. They might not be bad for black. So in the event of bishop e6, I might just have to move my queen back. Where do we put it? On a3? There it would be kind of out of the way. Maybe safest. Nothing can hit it on a3, really. It's safe on a dark square with his dark square bishop over there on g7. What is the master thinking about in this position? Well, this guy's just completely capitulating. I mean, basically. Aspay, thanks for the donation, 25 bits, no blunders. No blunders. You're talking about your simul game yesterday, where you almost got a draw. Significant because Asterbait and I have never drawn a game. How many games have we played, Asterbait? Now, Jan is just sacrificing an exchange, but I don't see really any justification for this. Good money after bad, you would say. My knight is strong on e5, but I mean, that doesn't mean it's justified to sacrifice an exchange necessarily. Don't take anyone too lightly. Is always good advice. And my rooks are having trouble in this closed structure here. Try to break his queen side. Now do we go h3 or h4? h3 loses material, presumably. Well, not really, though. Because I can play bishop f4 whenever I want to. Well, you can take on h3. That's a problem. Alright, we've got a weakness here on g4. I'm not super thrilled with that. I want to get him out of here. Get out of my face, man, with those pieces. I'm just looking to trade down up the exchange here. 74 games with Astrobate. Guys, welcome to my stream. We've got a challenge. Is that you? That's Neil Skinner. Neil Skinner already sent me his Thursday subscriber stream challenge. Sorry, subscriber stream submission. I need a knight transfer to f4 and or f3. I mean d4 or f4. Having a little trouble with naming squares here today. Three wins, 74 games. No draws with Astrobate. You're not a draw player. Okay, now I'm threatening knight f4, knight takes h5, which would be a useful pawn to pick up. Also, knight d4 is not a bad square. Is this some sort of defense? Like he can play queen g4? I can always just take that knight. Worst case scenario. Seems like Jan is a practical player. That exchange sacrifice is pretty unnecessary. But he's defending well now. If I play bishop e2, he has a very strong bishop f5. See, this is coming in now. I have knight h5, but he has knight takes d3 in response. Queen d3, bishop f5, winning material. I could play knight h5, knight d3, knight g7, knight c1, but I'm losing material at the end of the day there. I also don't like bishop f5. So we have a bit of a problem here. I probably should have exchanged his knight off with the bishop on g3. Not liking this too much. He's legitimately supposed to be 1900. Good thing it's not a rated game. We gotta do something here. He just takes on d3. This move is losing a pawn. I'm having trouble finding a better option though. This is looking really bad now. Okay, I've got to let him play bishop f5. That's all I can do. It's not the end of the world, hopefully. I can play either queen d2 or queen a4. There's no real advantage in queen d2. Is there? Keeps b2 protected. That doesn't do a lot. It's a little more central. Neil Skinner, welcome. The real Gambit. Okay, so rook b8, knight d3. That's a good move to have. The diagonal against that piece there would be really good. I could sack a piece for the passed pawn here, but that seems kind of generous. Oh, he's just after my pawn. Greedy. Can't really keep up with him. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fast for me. Alright. Well, we're running out of ideas here. Trading pieces if I can. Good old ambulance. Look at that. He's a genius. The tactics are going to fly now. This guy seems pretty good. Unnecessary exchange sacrifice, but otherwise really well played. Why would he put his c7 queen in first when he knows how strong this queen is on e7, the correct square? I guess he didn't have that available when he played queen c7. Played the opening really badly. Now he's playing extremely strong. Juicebox Wizard, what's up, man? 14 months. Thanks for supporting the stream, guys. If I'm desperate, I could sack the exchange. But, well, we got an extra exchange to give, right? But then it would just be equal. I'd be up a pawn. Uh-oh. The Achilles heel. Many a chess player. The one-move blunder. That was a pretty relevant factor over the last, like, 10 moves. I mean, I was basically concerned about rook b8 all the time. So that was fortunate. I'm not going to play a rematch. I've got to play other people. So Mule Skinner, normally it's polite to give a rematch, especially if you're playing white. But since I'm doing a stream and I only have time for like 10 games, I'm going to have to try to politely decline. Mule Skinner, no. Why are you white every single game we play? I promise I'm going to only play d5 against Mule Skinner. I'm going to keep my word. We can't let him have a closed position under any circumstances. Much happier here. This is nothing like the Grand Prix attack. What you've got to do, Mule Skinner, is find a way to force a closed position against the Scandinavian. It's kind of like trying to force an open position against the French. Ambulance is really active around here. Living near the hospital. Just a few blocks away where my mom is. In the internal medicine floor. Pneumonia. Haven't got an update today. She wasn't looking too good yesterday. I'm not optimistic. We'll see. So Mule Skinner is up to 196. Almost a 200 game. How many people have played 200 games against me? Just Nefedov? Morales is a lot, but I don't think it's 200. This is some kind of sideline that he's played against me before, but I don't really get this move. First of all, when you have an IQP position, you don't really want to trade pieces, and this move is likely to result in exchanging pieces. Secondly, it's kind of technically his good bishop, so there's another reason not to exchange it. But I guess there's concrete ideas here. Some kind of concrete ideas. I've had this numerous times, but it's not common enough to, hey, I'm going to study bishop b5 in the Panov g6 line. I don't expect like a master level player to play bishop b5 against me. The best move is queen b3, and the only other move that seems here on move 7, 8, the only other move that seems really relevant is like bishop c4. Now you could also play, I've also played bishop g5 for white instead of exchanging on d5. It's probably equally playable. That's about it. You'll find some games with bishop b5, but nothing special. You can compare this to the Tarrasch. It's basically a Tarrasch reversed. He's just thrown his pieces out like Vita Lynch. The Vita Lynch variation of the dragon. Latvian. Attacking player and theoretician. Is it Arcades? I'm not sure. Okay, bishop g5. Extremely logical, you know, Alyekin-like piece development. Alyekin. Active. I guess we copycat you and go bishop g4. There's an argument for h6, I guess. Slightly weakening, but also maybe useful. I might regret it though if I need to play f6 later. That's too much. It gets too squishy, you know. If you need to play f6, you probably don't want to be playing h6 in these IQP positions. So that's actually a consideration. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm basically not thinking. Like bishop g4, h3, take, queen takes. Does not constitute a plan. I have played g5 in such positions in the Scandinavian. I mean, this is a Scandinavian, but it isn't in a way, because it's more like a Tarrasch than a Scandinavian now. g5, bishop g3, g4. Or g5, bishop g3, bishop g4. It's kind of an interesting move. Take, take. Mule Skinner seems to get stronger by the day. His results don't bear it out, but I feel like he had this win last time. But I feel like his games are always really, really struggles for me. Turkey Farm. Juicebox Wizard, how are things out there? What do you got? It's 10 p.m. Alright, I'm not going to play g5. I'm not going to play g5. But what are my options? Bishop e6, solid move. That double pawn looks kind of lame. Alright, let's do it. Moderator Infinite Flash Chess. We're lucky last stream we had our oldest moderator. Well, maybe he's not the oldest, but our first moderator, Jeroen, was in the stream and played in our simul yesterday. It's always good to have an extra moderator on hand. Blitz time controls are beneficial at every level, but I don't really recommend or see the necessity to play faster than, I don't know, like 3 minute. It's like absurd, you know. I don't see any reason that people have to play bullet chess or what that, you know, is really necessary for. The first goal should be to play good moves. Then you gradually get faster. What is my plan again? This? At least this forces his hand. G4 just looks weakening. So take. I guess I can play H3, Bishop H5 now, which is useful. His bishop's in the way. Could I get in C5? Because if I could, that would probably be an interesting thing. Wait, it's 3 p.m. for you just? Oh, I'm so used to like Eastern time and thinking about, yeah, okay. So you don't have time, you don't have the time change there, Juicebox? I see. You guys don't have daylight savings time in Cambodia. Uber driver. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it? Uber driver was Uber driving. We're not allowed to have like, you know, Uber and Lyft in Hungary anymore. I have an Uber app on my phone. It's like there's no little black cars driving around on the map. All right. Preservation of bishop. I mean, you can exchange on F3, but I don't see any reason to go and pull the trigger yet. Unless I have to. Ambulances. I have all sorts of conspiracy theories about the ambulances. I think it just puts me on tilt when I hear them. I started to have conspiracy theories. Like they just drive around with empty ambulances for practice or something. There's no way there's that many active ambulances. So, perfect game by Mule Skinner. Or is it? I feel like I'm going on a tangent here. Tangent. Tangenial. Tangenial moves. I guess originally I was thinking about C5, but that seems too late. Looking for this square, bishop F3. I'm not certain that I'm better here. I'm trying to put pressure on the D4 pawn. Ooh. What's happening here? Knight C2? I'm just winning a ponda. Well, Knight C2. Knight C2, Rook C1. Knight D4. Give me that. Tuk-tuk. The Catalan opening. Totally unsound. Oh my gosh. Just kidding. The Catalan opening is very fundamental, real Gambit. You know, anytime you fianchetto your king's bishop, you got a nice solid structure. But you're talking about playing the Catalan with white. I mean, that's like one of the most safe openings in the world. So, I mean, I could play bishop f3 and then bishop d5 and be equal, but I guess we're trying to win here. So I'm playing knight takes d4. Keep some play. We don't only have ambulances, we have birds too. Unleashing the power of my king's side. F5. I'm feeling like going for it. It's kind of weakening though. only live once, and Mule Skinner is starting to get into time pressure here. He doesn't have f3. Simul for 25 players. Oh, I didn't update that. My bad. Thank you for pointing that out. I will correct that. Missed that. But Mule Skinner never got his closed position. He loves locked structures. And this Catalan. It is kind of a Catalan in a way. This, actually, what do we want to do here? Why bring his knight to the center? Bishop f7, take, take. Well, I shut down this bishop. I mean, that's pretty important. Still, he has some counterplay. The name is what? It's pretty well calculated, sir. So king f7, rook c7 only move. Actually, he also has knight f5 there. I mean, you're effectively down a piece, so this isn't fair. Mate. London system, bishop. Never a problem. Tactical wizard. The real Gambit and chess Armageddon. Morales. Alright, we figured out the best stylistic chance against Mule Skinner. Alright, real Gambit. And then these guys who are subscribers can play first. So Gambit and Morales. Actually, Gambit, you are... I don't even know if you... I'm just assumed that Gambit was a subscriber. Now I'm not sure. Maybe he isn't. Gambit, are you a subscriber? Subscribers should get first chance to play. Gambit, what's your... You're the real Gambit, duh. You're not a subscriber, and I accepted your challenge. Well, he asked if the Catalan is a good opening. No, it sucks. Yeah, The G3 move is pretty solid. I'm thinking, can you play C5 here? I never do that, but it is possible. It's not really a BOGO until white plays knight F3. It's like a hybrid. It doesn't really have a name, actually. Neo-Catalan. I guess it's not even a Neo-Catalan. That would be like the English. I don't know what this is. Just a form of Catalan. BOGO wannabe. I always get like a passive but solid position when I play like this. Now we've transposed. Smyslav. Very important that black doesn't castle here, because our bishop gets trapped on b4 in a lot of lines. Chemistry teacher. The only difference between he and I is that I never really took to the science classes. Actually, that was like my least favorite subject in school for some reason. Maybe I just didn't have a good science teacher to inspire me. So that's a problem. So e3 is a bit weird here. My bishop's gonna get trapped though. I don't really like that getting trapped with like bishop c1 or something. So I'm just gonna play kind of routinely, you might say. My fear is that after e3, he can play the bishop back to c1 and my bishop will be trapped out in limbo and get trapped. I'll have to play a4, which is like super artificial. Is that a word? Doesn't have a great... No, he does have a great move there. Okay. Queen e7, maybe? Real Gambit's opening play, excellent. I've never seen anyone play e3. You came up with an original idea there. Maybe maybe I could do something like e4 first. I was concerned the pawn would be overextended. Probably it is. Like e4, knight g5, queen e7, queen c2. So I don't know. I mean, e3 is probably a serious, significant theoretical novelty or something. I wouldn't be surprised if it exists. Like if we go into the opening explorer later after the game, which is not complete, by the way. I mean, if you want to be serious about your openings, the lichess opening explorer is not enough. I mean, you've got to get like access to a professional database. This is an excellent move too. Very, very high level move. Correcting the position of the queen, like a grandmaster. Gambit also played a correspondence game against me where his play is grandmaster level, I thought, or something like high master level, an ongoing correspondence game. I was lucky not to lose. So it's pretty amazing. His rating's only like 1500 on lichess. Though he's lost his games against me, the correspondence game was a nightmare. I was totally outplayed, and lucky to hang on. It's still ongoing. Now I think it's a knight endgame. I'm only a tiny bit worse. So he seems kind of underrated, despite his losses. It's also an excellent game by white. Queen c2, freeing up the d2 square, looking at h7. So this might be an unnecessary retreat here. I don't think he needs to do that. It's still not that bad of a move. preventing me from playing e4, but kind of passive. Maybe he wants f4. He can't do f4 right away, I would think. But I don't really have a good plan. Yeah, maybe he can play... Actually, I don't know. I must have stared at the lamp or something. I have like a sunspot on my eye. You ever get that? It's very annoying. Not really sure what to do. He's got more useful moves than me. H6 is pretty feeble. Actually, I'm like worse now. Probably I should exchange on d4 there. Though it seems like a concession to trade off my strong point. White is just better. Again, he's playing like a master in this game. It doesn't seem like much, but there's some subtlety to White's game. He's not making any bad moves. He's not being very aggressive, but this is a subtle move too. I like rook d1 a lot. I mean, that's probably like the best move. Could also play maybe h3. White can just slowly improve the position. Black kind of runs out of moves here. That's, I would argue, maybe a concrete mistake. Weakening his dark squares. But still, my position is, it's hard to cross over. I want to get my queen over here, but then I get nailed on the d file. Can't play e4. He's just done everything to prevent me from playing e4, and I'm running out of time. See, the rook on d1 is brilliant. Got to do something. No, a4 is a bad move, but his position was so good to begin with that he can practically afford to do bad move. I mean, there's like no plan for black. No, it doesn't make sense to play a4. That's his first like concretely bad move the whole game. But he's got a fair amount of rope till he destroys his position. Controversial, but also maybe not bad. Space is space. Queen side is just locked now. An anonymous cheerer. I love that. I love the ghost. Anonymous cheerer? That's awesome. Okay, what am I doing now? What am I doing? I'm going to lose on time to a 1500. Seems awful good for 1500. That's another mistake. Two mistakes. Just when his position was monstrous, he played that. Man, I was almost going to give up. Like after after f4, he's got a clear advantage. So what's up with the anonymous cheerer? I love that it looks like Pac-Man. Not Pac-Man, but, you know, the ghost from Pac-Man. That's cool. Anonymous Cheer just took you down, Asterbait. Two mistakes for Real Grambit. Taking with the rook on f4 and the move a4. Both cases he had like a clear advantage if he doesn't make those moves. Still, it's really hard for me to break through. You got a lot of challenges. Now what do I do? Try to own the e5 square. It's like good defense. Let's look at the position after f4. I mean, how big is White's advantage here? Petrosian could probably grovel for a draw in this position. White's space is so strong. +1. No, it doesn't think so. It says that I'm equal if I play correctly. Wow, that center looks ominous. Thanks, Anonymous Cheerer, and thank you to Asterbait. Apparently I'm okay here if I take, and he takes with a rook. Takes with a pawn. He should take with a pawn. Knight g6. This is scary. The avalanche. Generally, that's not good for black. Really good game by Grambit until the end. Okay, Morales, Testosterone, Uber Driver, and Zenchess are all subscribers. We're going to have to hold off on the other challenge. So, Grambit got lucky. He's not a subscriber, but I thought he was. Alright. Morales. On Fridays, I do play like challenges with everybody, regardless of whether you're a subscriber or not. Morales is different. It's not Mule Skinner. They both start with M. Different players. Well, they don't start with. They start with an M in the first two letters. Morales playing E4. He also plays the Grand Prix attack. Turkey sub's not a... Oh, you're not a current sub. Okay. This is my new move order. To avoid the stupid bishop b5 that for some reason I'm having so much trouble against. Morales, did we play this the other day, or was that against Mule Skinner? I guess we did this the other day. Turkey sub. I love turkey subs too. They're only available at Subway. I remember a time before Subway. Believe it or not, there was life before Subway, Infinite Flash Chess. Now, Morales, were you the one who played this with me the other day? Or did I play differently? Because I tend to play different order of moves sometimes. Knight f6, maybe even. Reasonable. If e5, knight d5. The problem with knight f6 is f5. But then I guess I can just take it. And he's got the knight h4 type of thing that I talked about last time. Maybe I best avoid that. Last time I played like knight h6 really early. I think this is my standard. I've done this before. I probably played this exact position with Morales before, but I don't remember. Sean Ferry, a 1500-ish player looking to improve, practice every day. Well, I think at that level, like the longer you don't practice, you're gonna get bad, kind of rusty and lose what you knew like pretty quickly. It's not like you've been playing for 20 years. So to continue, to practice continually, I think is good and important. If you don't use it, you lose it more quickly at the lower levels. So probably you should practice like 3 hours a day. I mean, that's kind of, a lot of people don't have time for that, but if you only play like an hour a day, you're never going to get really better, I don't think, unless you're like a genius, super genius. So this was similar to last time, except I had my knight on h6, which doesn't really help. Basically, what I'm doing here is an experimental method of play. Play the Catalan better than you did against me. I don't think you had any problems with your opening, the real Gambit. You definitely didn't lose the game because of how you played the opening. I thought you played the opening well. You made 2 mistakes, both positional nature, a4 and taking with a rook on f4. Both cases you disregarded weak squares. With a4 the b4 weakness, and with rook takes f4 you're disregarding the weakness of the e5 square. Something to think about. But I don't think openings are a question there. Seriously, if you could practice like 3 hours a day, I think that's getting to the point where it could be really constructive. Probably you need to combine, playing with studying something. I think just studying annotated games is one of the simplest and best ways to improve, for example. I hate this opening so much. Morales playing a4 on the queen side. Something really unnatural about that. He's trying to get me to not castle queenside. I mean, I could definitely have played b4. But he's going to stick the knight on d5 in that case. Now he takes himself out of, or he takes the possibility of playing knight h4 away from himself here. So I think I'm going to avail my, although I lose b5, actually. Now I need to play that, probably. Okay. b4. You can always run to the queen side, kids. Avail myself of this possibility. Queenside castling remains an option. Do not move pawns where you're weaker. Yeah, I mean, that's what Dvoretsky told me. It's a very general rule, of course. He has another way to play for knight f5. Okay, whatever. Well, kids. Every Grand Prix attack player lives to trade queens. That's their golden rule. Trying to trade queens is what they want to do. But this is a little complicated. I have to be careful here. We're going to have to defend carefully. Rook G8. Sean Ferry. I wouldn't diss lichess completely infinite flash chess. I think, you know, maybe at your level, you're close to master level. I mean, it's not the ideal platform for studying. But for an amateur who's like 1500, I was thinking Rook G8. Now he can avoid the exchange of queens. That's okay. Because I'll just hammer him with knight takes e4. Well, actually he has queen e1. Queen e4. I mean, whatever he does to try to avoid trading queens here won't really help. He's burned his bridges behind him. Scorched Earth Policy by Morales. Read the most recommended chess books. The ones that the authors, you know, personally write their own reviews for on Amazon. I love ops-colored bishop positions. Ooh, this doesn't look good for white. It's the wicked diagonal. No, it is very beneficial. Don't listen to Infinite Flash Chess. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, in all fairness to Infinite Flash, there are a lot of other sites that are very, very useful. But for all intents and purposes, I think, you know, for most amateurs, lichess has some very useful features. I agree. Just using the, you know, the engine, the Stockfish program, and Opening Explorer is quite useful. Okay, what am I doing now? Skinner is getting some counterplay. F5. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is that a good move or a bad move? It's a good question. He went for it. Man. Sleazy traps. That's basically what we're looking at here. But in all seriousness, I have 3 pawns for the exchange here, and a raging initiative and opposite color bishop situation. Black has to be better. Two pawns, thanks. I thought my king was a pawn. Oh no, I had king d8. And it probably wins by force. G4 looks moderately suicidal. But he's got his usual tricks. king is a fighting piece. I've got 4 pieces and you only have 3. Oh, you have 4. You think that's a piece too? All right. This has got to be good. Coordination. Yeah, that's it. So, did I miss winning a piece there? Really? With knight c7 check? I only considered king d8 for a moment. It does look decisive. Yeah, it just wins. I guess in my mind I was afraid there'd be like a rook coming down to f8 or something. The knight just covers everything. Yeah, that's a pity. I missed king d8. Make your bishops great again. It's an Uber driver in Zen Chess. Zen Chess is a tier 2 subscriber. Acerbate is tier 3. Get extra emotes. Uber driver, the Rock. Did you play in the simul Uber driver? You weren't here. You were driving your Uber. I forgot. Ah, not again. Now what are we gonna do? Alright. Why don't you play the normal Budapest with knight to g4 Uber driver? Knight h3. Where? Druber. Is this the same move order you played before? A3. Well, I mean, a knight h3 to f4. It's a good strategic plan in the structure. Okay, if I play queen c2, what is this, like you do something weird? Queen c2 feels like a tempo loss. So g3, queen e7, bishop g2, knight e5. What is that? I feel like I'm losing a tempo, but I'm gaining a friend. Is this our... previously discussed opening? You might as well just play rook d5, I guess. Maybe it's premature. A rook only a mother could love. I mean, I could stop knight b4 if I want to, with a3. But I do need to develop the rest of my pieces. So like g3, knight b4 hits my a2 pawn. That's a problem too. Generally speaking, it seems kind of slow. Well, I played in my first tournament in 1980. I want to say, I never remember, but I think it was 9th grade. No, not 1980, but I'm trying to think which 1980 it was. I guess I played in my first tournament in 1985, and I became an IM in 1999. So it took me 14 years to become an international master. You know, lots of people have done it much faster. Of course, today things are different. But I also, got a college degree in the meantime. So I wasn't like just focusing on chess. Bishop h3, h5, bishop f5 is interesting. Not 1980, 1985. I played in my first tournament. Actually, I played in an unrated tournament in 1984. It was an unrated knockout tournament for kids, and I lost one game and I went home. It was a very inspiring experience. Highly recommend that method of competitions for kids. Somehow I recovered from that traumatic experience to again play in a tournament the following year. G5, wow. Maybe just bishop g2. But I improved sort of steadily but gradually. No, I mean, it's not normal to have knockout tournaments for kids. It's a ridiculous idea. I mean, maybe in a special circumstance like a state championship or something like that, but not for like a general tournament for kids. It's just discouraging, Go to this tournament to play one game and go home. It's like absurd. It's not like the World Cup of soccer or something. Ambulance again. Uber Driver has just 6 minutes left. He basically needs to play faster. So it took me 14 years to become an international master, but I managed to get a high school diploma and a college degree, a bachelor's degree, while getting my IM title. So collectively, I guess, when you consider that I achieved all those 3 things in 14 years, it wasn't too bad. I'm a chess celebrity. Not really. I was subject of many articles. I love how acerbate slightly embellishes, slight embellishment upon reality. All right, I'm just going to keep it simple here. Black should be fine, though. He's going to get his pawn back. Maybe more than one. I think my cough is actually getting better. I've been coughing for like 2 weeks. And just as I'm like trying to organize a doctor's appointment, of course, like it's like Murphy's Law. By the time I get to the doctor, it'll be like totally gone. Today it seems notably better, which is encouraging because I have to record a video today, so it would be good to not cough constantly. There goes the structure. Uber driver doesn't care about winning a pawn. He's more a perfectionist. He wants the whole package. To win with the Fajarwitz by force from move 1. This is obviously a draw. Okay, black has some structural problems over here. Mine's not exactly perfect either. We both have our structural weakness. Maybe this is just a mistake in a sense, but yeah, why didn't I play maybe rook d1 there? Of course, it's hard to make progress. I'm not sure. I know that he has a lot more time than me. I just don't believe in my position. What? That was unexpected. All right. It's a magic rook. It jumps over knights. You have a database program you recommend, Zen Chess? Chess Assistant, maybe? I hate ChessBase. I paid for ChessBase like 3 times in my last 20 years of my life, and they don't like give you the ability to upgrade. It's a dinosaur. Should be stamped out of existence, like Microsoft. Blobby 75 FM. ChessBase is a dinosaur like me. To pay for ChessBase? You have to pay for things, like you have to pay for a cup of coffee if you go to the coffee shop, most things you have to pay for, unfortunately. Privately created chess program, it's not open source. Nothing that professional could be open source. Yeah, you can buy ChessBase. I mean, you can get ChessBase Viewer for free, but that's, not really useful. I mean, it's useful a little bit for playing through games and stuff. Lots of mistakes here. Uber driver makes the Fajarwitz variation look sound. I'm supposed to play A3 here. Only Dr. Epper-Yeshi Laszlo. Ladies' man. Ladies' man. From way back. We made some mistakes. Alright guys, let's play. Chess Testosterone is not a sub. Okay, Zen Chess is Uber Driver back. Any reason not to meet 94? I don't know, Turkey Farm. Honestly, you know, the Fajarowitz variation of the Budapest is one of those things where I devoted 0% of my time to studying that, because the only person who ever played it against me was like in 1800 at the chess club in Boston. I just don't think that it's something that, you know, even though Uber Driver likes it, it's not going to pay dividends like investing hours studying the white side of the Fajarowitz variation. You've got better things you can do with your life. Unfortunately, life is too short. Possible to challenge be crushed. It's possible. But we've got a 4-player waiting list. Carlos the Careless challenged me to 4+0. Carlos the Careless, I would appreciate if you would re-challenge me to something like 5+3. Yofos. I'll accept 5-2. Normally I play 5+3. But we'll let him slide on the 5+2. 4-0 I'm not going to play, you know, just to lose on time again, like last time. Shevsky would play A3. I mean, in principle, I don't like A3, you know. It's like playing A3 against the Albin. It's some kind of like second-rate move that's not very constructive to White's position. But maybe here in this opening, it's better than against the Albin. Maybe it's like really the best move. But again, I haven't taken the time to really study it, since the strongest player who ever played it against me was 1800. It's not really a pressing use of time. You downloaded the lichess database and that open source search function, gigs of games. Well, I mean, if you're really, really well acquainted with, you know, open source stuff, I'm sure you could find something good. I'm just like not that really much of a computer person. I'm kind of a proletary, very proletaire computer user. So, all right, C takes D5, Zen Chess. Have we ever played this? I don't remember you playing the Tarrasch. That's cool. I'd love to play against the Tarrasch. I don't want to jinx myself, but my cough is really better. I'm not coughing constantly. Oops, it's your turn. Skid. I mean, I guess the way of, you know, the way of open source, eventually there'll be good open source chess databases. Maybe we just have to wait, or maybe they're already out there. I just don't know about it. But I think the pay model for chess programs is kind of going the way of the dodo slowly. That's why I don't play on other chess sites like chess.com or Internet Chess Club. You know, you shouldn't have to pay to play, you know, free chess where you're not playing for prizes or something. Essentially, the internet should be free, so why should we have to pay a membership to play chess online? I really like lichess, but if you want quality programs like a database program, you know, I don't know. I'm sorry that ICC hasn't gone out of business already. They weren't very kind to me. I used to work for them. I wouldn't be sorry to see them go. Really idiotic management of a company. Blob said, on this note, is it allowed to subscribe? It is allowed to subscribe. It is appreciated. This is a weird system, Zen Chess. It's like, I think Capablanca might have played this with black. Generally like frowned upon, but actually this is the kind of best way to play for black. That's non-theoretical. Normally, you know, black plays CD. Excuse me. Bishop e7, knight c3, castles, bishop g5, then CD, or c4. So I never really quite know what to do here. I've faced this many times, but again, not really theoretical, strong players that are studying openings play this. This is kind of like people who made up, just making it up as they go along with logic. You know, h6 looks slow. This isn't a great square. Blob, thanks for subscribing. How do you pronounce that? Bloby or blob? Blob. Blob E. Bishop E6. I do hate taking on C5, developing black's pieces for them. Starting chess at 16. Yeah, Farrell asked this question. I mean, I started when I was like 11 or 12. I was 12, I guess. 12. Yeah, I was definitely 12. When I learned to really play. But I know a grandmaster from Latvia who started when he was like 19. So it's definitely possible to become a title player. I mean, I am definitely. GM's harder. This position angers me. It should be good for white, but I don't know what to do. All right, we'll try this. No, I think that 16 is still pretty young. You know, you're probably not going to be one of the top players in the world as easily. Not to say it's out of the question, but 16 is hardly over the hill, you know. I think it's much healthier. People who start playing chess when they're like 8 or younger, they become really weird in many cases. I mean, I think you need to have like a grip on things outside of chess, you know. I don't really like want to teach my kids. I didn't want to teach my kids to start playing when they're like 5 years old. I think it can really kind of be too much. So starting later, I think, is good. It depends. I mean, again, if you want to become world champion, then it's probably late, you know. But otherwise, it's not a big deal. I'm going to take this bishop. I've got to be careful about f2, obviously. Did Capablanca ever get like an education outside of chess? Did he just play chess? He was also a prodigy. Yeah, we were talking about Reshevsky yesterday. You doubt chess is good for morals, moral victories, maybe. Yeah, I think like 11 or so is a good age to start playing. Not just because that's when I started, but more or less, just in general. Okay. Tactics are flying now. 95 bishop f2. I mean, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. E3. Knight e3. Pawn e3, bishop e3, king h1, like bishop c1. That's kind of unclear. I'm not super thrilled about this. And I'm also looking at knight e4, pawn e4, rook c5. Maybe knight e4, pawn e4, queen d8. But he's always got counterplay. maybe like a rook on the 7th or something like that. This is very frustrating. It feels intuitively like it should be good for white, but I don't see the answer. I never thought he could try to pull this off. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can play e3, and it's playable. 2 pawns and a rook. I mean, 2 pawns and a rook for 2 pieces, with 2 very strong bishops for white. But I still want more. Yeah, I didn't even consider bishop f3. It might even be a good move. Probably is. All right. Thanks for the suggestion, Tactical Wizard. This definitely did not occur to me. It should, though, because it's a very forcing move. It's just kind of an unusual and slightly awkward move. I remember when I was a kid, I've told this story before, but Reshevsky was still alive and he was putting advertisements in Chess Life magazine about giving private lessons at his home. But it was too far for me to travel to like New York City. I lived like over 2 hours away from New York City. If it had been a little closer, I probably would have contacted him about lessons. It would have been awesome to meet a legend like that and actually take lessons with them. This was a good move. I normally don't like to take suggestions from the viewers, but I can't like pretend the move's not there. Well, mostly Uber driver Reshevsky respected for his strategic play. So now it's like that bishop is a big problem. I just have a nice position, 2 bishops against 2 knights, but it's pretty open. The Boston, no, I wasn't in Boston. I lived closer to Philadelphia at that time when I was a kid, so would have been going north. Rook's kind of awkward here, but we'll take it. Actually, we're winning a pawn. And trading queens. Probably just a technical win, although it's never a guarantee in a rook endgame. I'm trading a lot of stuff here. So the structure is denigrated. Still a lot of work to do. Maybe it's still a draw with perfect play by black. I'm not sure about this last move. I mean, not easy for black to hold. of course. I've got a pass pawn too. It's probably just too much. Maybe I should just chill with that. Right. That was a good move. King e6 here. Or maybe not. Highly recommend Rubinstein for rook endgames. But just studying his games in general. What? You just hung your pawn with check. What are you doing? Ah. You're not allowed to make bad moves that I don't expect in chess. I can't believe it. He gave me his pawn with check and I didn't take it. That's ridiculous. Purposely make bad moves to like throw me off. Unbelievable. I'm still probably winning, but it's not as good as it was. Oh, that's so dumb. And Zen Chess is like an increment pro. Oh, he just traded it right off. Okay. No, that time you didn't give it to me with check. He's gonna hold this. Can't have that. What? He's like an endgame genius. It's a 3-second increment endgame genius. Saving the lostest endgame of all time. I can't believe I didn't take on c6 with check. Dude, you just totally swindled me. This is ridiculous. He plays this move. Rook d2, dropping the c6 pawn with check. Basically just losing immediately. And I didn't take it. Alright. I just take and play rook a6. It's a slightly better version of the game. But anyway. Alright. Carlos rechallenged me. Blobix just subscribe. Blobix, I assume that's you. Normally I don't play people who don't have enough games, but since you subscribed, I'll make an exception. I never play people who have like less than 100 games, but it's fine. That's embarrassing. I just never imagined you would drop your c6 pawn with check. I even saw it, you know, it previously had occurred to me that, oh yeah, he can't do that because he drops c6 with check. But I'm like, oh, well, he'll never do that, you know. Nobody in their right mind would lose their c6 pawn with check. Actually, we had this with Asterbait the other day. Asterbait played d6 here, which is a very strange move. I didn't really come up with anything very definitive there. Against Asterbait, if I had to do over again, I would probably play like queen c2 right away. d6, queen c2 right away. You know, basically trying to enforce e4. Some people play d5 like a weird neo Queen's Indian. Now we have the Petrosian variation. Normally Zen chess plays. You were planning king d7, rook takes h2 or a2. No, and I'm taking on c6 with check. And I'm playing rook a6, and you're going to have two connected passed pawns on the queen side. So you're not getting my a2 pawn, and you're losing your a7 pawn. It's totally lost for black. You cheated. You played a move you're not allowed to play. So now it's like a kind of standard, I guess, Petrosian system. Here you play a3. What am I supposed to play here, Uber Driver? You have a better move? Like, there's a better move for white in this position? Because I don't know what it is. If you want to suggest something, Kasparov played a3. I mean, what are you supposed to play? There is no other good move. e3. Oh, e3. Or like bishop g5. I like to play against that. If you look in the opening explorer, I don't think there's going to be a better move than a3 in this position. The only other moves are bishop g5 and e3. I guess queen c2 is some sort of hybrid. I'm saying playing in both openings. I understand your point. There's a lot of practical... Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They're different. Okay, so c5, I don't know this. What is this? It's a weird possibility here, like d5, ed, cd, knight takes d5, queen e4. And black has to play like literally f5. Or does my queen get trapped on b7? I guess we transpose to a Sicilian now. This is probably like normal. My queen is misplaced. I don't know anything about this. I never played this in my life. This is one of the lines of the Petrosian I don't know at all, because I never played it with black. Yeah, there's something very satisfying about drawing a lost position. It's almost as good as winning. Sometimes even more satisfying. Asterbait, thanks to the 106. Anonymously. What happened to Anonymous? Anonymous doesn't get on the list, Asterbait? Or what? Doesn't seem fair for Anonymous. So I end up playing a Sicilian with my queen on c2, which is definitely not like the standard position for that piece to be on. Seems completely reasonable. Con Sicilian or Paulson for black, whatever you call it. Of course, you got to play the Sicilian for the structure to kind of work. If you play the Queen's Indian and you don't play the Sicilian, you can't play this variation for black. Popular at Grandmaster level, I think. But I'm curious about the exact move order. I want to be sure about d5. d5, ed, cd, knight d5, queen e4, f5 I looked at, and I'm confused, honestly. Queen f5, knight c3, bc3. Maybe that's just good for white, actually. And I should have just analyzed a little bit further, because he can't castle, you know. It's a hedgehog, but I feel like I'm losing a tempo. I guess I have to play b4. That doesn't look so great either. This is the kind of variation that really requires specialty knowledge for white, I think. Correcting my queen position. What do you do now? Like bishop d2. Looks sort of stupid for white. Bishop d2 with the idea of rook c1. No time for king h1. I mean, it's a normal move, maybe. Blobik's new account here. I mean, there's no saying how strong he is. Could be a master, playing like one. Sophisticated line for black, and something that you don't encounter amateur players playing. C5 variation of the Petrosian system. Not something, you know, it's just ordinary players come up with over the board. Now we have the knight e5. The c4 pawn is just weak. So already I have problems with d5. Looks pretty good for black. Am I losing material now? Looks like it. Could have, knight c5 could have been good there for black. Perfect play so far. All right. Don't know what to do. Probably be resigning soon, judging how strong my opponent is. Now what? F3? No, F3, knight c5. I have to play this. If I make one mistake, I lose instantly to this guy who's playing like a GM, basically. All right. This is why I don't like playing people who are like provisional. Is he like 9-0? Why can't I see his games? Open link in new window. He did lose a game. Well, that's reassuring. Is it by time? f4. If d5 f4. The knight c5 is now a serious problem. I have to play rook b1. Maybe I'm losing a pawn here, I don't know. a3. Which way? So I have to take with the rook. He lost on time. I mean, it looks equal. I don't think I was ever better in this game. I mean, black's the one that chose to break out with d5. It looked good. This may be the only moment where I've been better in the whole game. Like right now, when he lost on time. Did I miss something? Why is the engine saying +3? So d5 was just too much. No reason to do that. I have to play rook b1 after knight c5 or something like that. I didn't like this. I think that black is easier to play with. Anytime it's a hedgehog, it's easier to play the black side of the hedgehog than white. Plus, I don't have two bishops. Fuchsia, thanks for the game. Fuchsia, what's up? I wouldn't call you crushed. I think you just you gave it to me. All right, chess Armageddon, chess testosterone. Actually, we're still waiting on these guys. We've got a million challenges. We've got half an hour left. So we're done with subscribers. Chess Armageddon is next. We haven't played in ages. This game is going to take 15 minutes. And then I've got maximally half an hour left after that. So, chess testosterone, we didn't play, right? I'm just used to the game we played yesterday. In the simul, I lost against chess testosterone. Black was definitely not crushed. Black just played d5 prematurely and a good position. I'm getting hungry. Panda? Any ideas for lunch? We're gonna do? Yesterday we had gyros. All right, maybe some Turkish. Turkish buffet. Yeah, Turkey Farm I saw. I mean, I had remarkable moves that I missed. I missed completely this move c5 in our simul game yesterday, which would have killed you after you played knight h4, but I didn't have enough time and I was kind of not happy with all the pieces you had around my king, but apparently you were lost. I live in Budapest, Hungary, but I'm originally from the United States. Hate the Samish. Good. Good. I also had an amazing draw, Turkey Farm. Or at least a way to stay in the game, where the engine said it was almost equal. Right near the end, I could have played bishop takes f3 in one position. I kind of gave up hope, you know, too early against you. No mods around. Oh, there was a mod here. Infinite Flash Chess was modded. Is he still here? He's gone? Yeah, the troll keeps us on our toes. We got various trolls to keep us on our toes. I need a sub emote. We got a sub? Just a sub emote. We have a sub emote. We have emotes. Yeah. I love the Panda emote the best. Oh, subscriber, okay. The icon on the left. Chess Armageddon, a sub badge. Nils is here. Oh, right. A sub badge. Yeah, we need a sub badge. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's almost time to finish, unfortunately. Because everybody's here now. Got a big group. But I have to leave in like half an hour, a little over half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm not going to get to play all these challenges. Chas Testosterone, Chas Testosterone, Yofos, Carlos the Clueless. Alright, Serious Joke is done. I'm afraid I'm not going to get to these other challengers toward the bottom of the list there. Bird is the word, Fuchsia. Okay. But you don't do Sesame Street in Europe, right? Where did that originate from, anyway? Bird is the word, not badge. What's the word? Absurd. Some people put their knight on c1, but I never like doing that. It feels too congested. There's actually a plan like knight c1, knight a2, supporting b4. I've seen like Kaidano do that. It's really weird. Rule of thumb when you play against the Benoni, when they play a6, you play a4. The one time I played this Yusupov idea where he like allowed b5 in this line, I got crushed by this guy Eric Cook, who's just like a really crazy 2200. I mean, in the New York Open. It was an important tournament too. I tried to allow b5 and be like Yusupov, and I get crushed by this guy who I really should beat. So I'm not going to experiment with that anymore, allowing b5. Not good idea. Nils is right. You know, in general, you should just prevent it. Tomorrow's stream takes place 9:30 a.m. Pacific. 9:30 a.m. Pacific. What? Yeah, 9 plus 9 is 18, which is 6:30 p.m. That's correct. Correct. You know your d4 structures. Better be cooked. By Eric Crush. Cookie Monster. Another Sesame Street reference. Cookie Monster was always funny to play against. He had this amazing score going against me where he beat me like the first 3 times we played, even though he was like 200 rating points lower. But then eventually I got his number. Guy evened the score. But it was like this under 2400 with really good prizes in the New York Open, and I was like 3-0, and then I like lost to Ashat Nadanyan, and I had like 3-1. I think I still had a chance at a really good result, and I ended up like losing to Cookie Monster. It pretty much my toilet went down the tournament there. My tournament went down the toilet. That was the last New York Open, maybe the second. Yeah, that was the last New York Open they ever had. It was like 1999 or 2000, maybe even 2001, but it had to be. No, it was around 99, I think. Used to be a really good tournament. All right, so b5 is a bit of a problem here. I don't necessarily want to see that. There's not a lot of good tournaments where there's like an under 2400 prize with big money or good money. FIDE under 24. I was like 2375 or something. So I started the tournament with like 3 wins, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna win thousands of dollars. Nope. So a5 probably allows knight c5. Then I take a5, knight c5. This is a problem because of this, obviously, and knight takes e4. So actually, well, that's all right. We got to calculate a little bit. If knight c4, bishop c4, knight e4, we'll have all sorts of forks and good stuff like that. All right, whatever. Someone suggested rook a3. It's a standard maneuver. I always play rook a3 when I can in this line. Haven't had time just yet. It's a really good system for white. The structure is the basis of white's whole position, I think. Having this really solid pawn chain is extremely hard for black to break up. Pawn structure key to this variation, very much. I just hung a pawn. Wow. I didn't really hang a pawn because the c4 would have been hanging, but I should have calculated more. You know, I like didn't calculate queen b6 properly. Tactics. Normally it's something like this. Maybe instead of pulling the bishop off g5, I should have just played king h1. I'm not sure. We actually had a lot of moves. You got to make a decision. I like bringing the bishop to d4 to kill the bishop on g7 and just centralize. Unchain my sub. That knight is pretty sick, man. Always a good knight on b6. There's another one. Another brother. My other brother, Daryl. Knight migrations. Knight f5. Knight h5. There's some funky tactics, but it rarely works. Trade queens. Me? You see, black's only way to attack the pawn chain from hell is to play f5, but every time I've ever done that with black, it's like a total loss. My whole king side just falls apart. It's better to do like h5, h4. So someone suggested trading queens. Okay. Fine by me. You know I hate trading queens. Totally uncomfortable with that concept. So his nuggets slowly start to die. Disease riddled nuggets. Chicken nuggets. Pawn nuggets. Church bells ringing for my opponent's position. Not yet. The bishop on b7 is sad, isn't it? It's so sad. We're so sorry for it. I might as well trade queens here. You know, as Fuchsia pointed out, like, this is a possibility. But it's not generally good if it just loses a pawn. King f2. Maybe I have this maneuver. Still, I mean, black's hanging in there. It's not like they're lost yet. Structurally, they're worse, but that might not be that be-all and end-all. Typically in a tournament game, I would like screw this up and draw. Would be my normal kind of modus operandi, I think. f4, certainly an idea. It's going to weaken d5. We got to do something. Someone suggested h5 and h4. Yeah, I mean, we can always do that. Yeah, all right. Move driver predicting the moves. Surround sound. Pioneer stereos with surround sound. Can he just keep everything? It's not fair. You just defend everything. It is not fair. Yes. The ambulance is coming from my position now. Be careful. Yes. Yes. Obviously. Oh, you're going forward instead of back. only f4 were protected. Wait, is that relevant? Maybe not. Oh my god, you have a check. Stupid freaking check. Either way, he was in trouble. Rook c7 had 98 check. Defendo. Magic. How do I finish this off? Damn. He's gonna draw this. It's like Zen chess. Maybe it's not so easy. Annoying. Annoying position. Definitely should have played this better. Lucky. Take the other way would be better. Wouldn't save him. That was lucky. You know, it's really hard to win that position. Okay, guys, we got time for 2 more games. Is there anyone subscribing? This guy's crazy with a 10 plus 2. Pi Day Unicorn. No way I can play those. All right. Oh, not G3 again. Sneaky move, not really. The antithesis of sneaky. All right, let's try something else. He plays the modern with black, so he's playing that with white, essentially. Played the classical. Pierce. H4, H5. Good emotes. Well, I play this with white, so it's pretty lame, though. I don't know what E4 is. It's a chess move. Yeah, I guess you can do that. Thanks, guys, for joining me. We're going to be back tomorrow night with Ponda Arena 6, I guess. Rapid Arenas. I now numerically record them. Last time was pawn to arena 5. The blitz ones don't count. I like the rapid ones. So tomorrow night we'll have an arena at 6:30. Nothing crazy happens with my life. Yeah. If you guys don't know me, you know, I'm the panda. Get it? Panda. My favorite colors are black and white. Alright, man. That's obvious. Let's just continue with the game. So e4, classical Pearts. Normally not so easy to do that in the classical Pearts, to achieve e5. You could do a delayed fianchetto. Maybe this isn't the best plan, though. Maybe my bishop should go to c5 somehow. It's almost like a Philidor. Testosterone is essentially playing a kind of Philidor with colors reversed. Call it the Pearts if you want, but with that knight configuration, it's more like the Philidor. He's pretty solid, I think. With colors reversed, we've had this numerous times, and I've had a hard time getting anything. Although I like it when my opponent trades off their strong point. It's a lot like a King's Indian, except of course I haven't played c5, which gives me, you know, more flexibility. Pawns should be defended with pawns. Not pieces. If d4, see here, a4, okay. Now should I automatically play a5, or can I just ignore that? Can or should I ignore it? Would be a standard move to throw in earlier. One other theme in the Pearts is sometimes now you can sit the knight on b4. This was like a proper Pearts strategic concept that's kind of known as just like once they play a4 and d3, you can just put the knight on b4 forever. So some people will say that's like a mistake for white, but I'm not sure. That's just because I put my knight on b4 doesn't mean like I'm winning the game. I just put it there. It's annoying for white to deal with. So he stops it, but he's got a soft pawn on d3. Soft pawn. I'm a big fan of soft pawn. Okay, seriously. Bishop e6 looks correct. I think that's right. If he hadn't played c3, it would be different because he might have d4 now, but I think d4, moving the soft pawn here, loosens that knight. Very relevant to the position. Of course he wants queen b3. That's why we go here. That's inconvenient. You know, now he's not happy about like getting, you know, pin. Queen b3 is a standard King's Indian theme. But keep in mind, again, this is not a King's Indian. I don't have a pawn on c5 and all the weaknesses that are, you know, increased with that. The Pearts is, you know, this type of Pearts position isn't as good as a normal King's Indian. This is one of these things you could do g5, but it's kind of maniacal. But there's a kind of case for it. But I think, okay, he can try to set up bishop f5. Bishop e4, sorry. Whatever, it's close. Close to f5. I'm having a Freudian moment where I'm giving away my plans. G5, bishop e4, gh4, Queen h5, peace, sacrifice. Let's go, dude. What would Grishuk do? Sasha. Would Sasha play g5? It harkens back to this game like Grishuk had against Nakamura last year. It was really nice. It was a backward pawn situation, and he just compressed Nakamura. But he was so patient about it. This move, difficult to understand. I just take with the queen. That bishop is kind of important. I don't see how you can give that up. Strategic suicide. Suicide by white squares. It was an impulsive decision. Maybe he thought making me take with the bishop would be forced or something. Okay, guys. Next to last game, one more. And it's martini time. Yofos, you have 100 games. You're good to go. This looks awful for white now. Soft Ponda. But we've got to be patient. Do I play checkers? Not really. Purely badly. It's like my backgammon. I'm probably like 1300 in checkers and backgammon, or even like worse. Maybe I'm not even 1300. Anything with checkers, I'm about 1300 or less. Very little theoretical knowledge. But you know who was really good at checkers? I thought Blackburn was like a checker master. I hope I'm not going too far here. My understanding was that Blackburn was first the checkers master, and then he took up chess. I don't mind trading queens. My king safety will be much happier. A much happier existence for the king. With the queens off the board here. No, much less chance of accidents. White is. Getting kind of tired. It's been a long stream. My stamina in old age, not what it used to be. Hard for white to continue here. Can hardly move. So you're opposite in checkers. That's weird. He calculates a lot. Zero knowledge of strategy. It's funny, troll. Yeah, I have zero knowledge of strategy in checkers. A little bit in backgammon. So I would be pure calculation too. I was watching a funny video of Ivanchuk playing checkers. It's like a viral Ivanchuk video. Is this mate? It's not good for white, whatever it is. Not happy. Ivanchuk was at the prize giving of this like major rapid blitz tournament, and he like won first place ahead of Magnus Carlsen. But instead of like being there ready to get his prize, he was like playing checkers with Yubava. And he cared more about that than the prize giving. It's totally crazy. I think this is over. We can wrap this one up. Not as good as the simul game. All right, last game. Sorry, Carlos. I've got time for only one more game. Maybe next time. Why did you give up your white squared bishop there, Turkey Farm? Miscalculation? Normally, I would think you would know better than that. Man, I'm hungry, guys. So feel free to send me donations in the form of food. We'll accept food. We'll play for food. I had breakfast too, and I'm starving. Accelerated Dragon. Thanks, guys, for supporting the stream by subscribing. Don't forget, tomorrow night, streaming 6:30 p.m. European time, European summertime, Central European summertime, technically, with an arena rapid tournament here on lichess. The Ponda 6 arena. I had a game the other day where somebody played this and like they did G4 next move. I had never really remember facing that. I blew the guy away though. Okay, this is more standard what Yofos is doing, but against G4, I was like, what am I didn't know what to do, and I played, you're supposed to play Queen B6, as I came to find out, but not knowing, I just reacted, and I sacked the pawn with D5, G5, Knight H5. It actually turned out to be pretty good for black, and I crushed the guy. But here, you know, I think it's very routine. You have to do D5. Just remember, it's 5 plus 2. This is a variation I used to encounter when I was playing like people for money. There would be this type of line a lot. There was at least one time when I blundered with like f6, allowing knight takes d5, f6, knight takes d5, cd5, queen d5 check, winning the rook on a8. But once you negate that threat, black's position is just very, very strong. Better for black. Now we're going to hit with f6, and it's going to come with a lot of effect. It's similar to a 11-fish dragon with f4. Chess 960. Legends of Chess 960 with Troll on a roll. Haven't got many 960 challenges. Actually, we had to turn away Carlos there because we got to go. But I'm welcoming, you know, that. Normally, I'm willing to play some Chess 960. Definitely. The other option is to play for c5. I'd like to maybe consider that as well. You can stop the blockade type plan. I'm still going to have to watch out for knight takes d5s if I play e5. So far, Yofos played this pretty well. We don't have a tactic here, or we do? We don't, or we do? We have d4, knight f5. Sorry, that's e4. d4, knight e4. Speaking of calculation. queen f5, and then he's got 2 pieces hanging simultaneously. Knight e6, pawn takes e3, for example. Hope I didn't miscalculate something. But this should win a piece. Yes, Troll, there's no substitute for calculation. Billiards. I prefer billiards. It's the name that FIDE Master William Kelleher calls me. Both bills, so to differentiate somehow. Billiards. Then he takes f5. Take it. With an attack on the queen. Ready made queen trade at hand here with queen c5. Substitute lies for fact. Gladys Troll. The truth straight from the troll farm. I want to trade queens, please. This is also an illegal move, okay. Forgot where my queen was coming from. I'm like gonna move it on d4. Here, enforcing an exchange of queens. That should take some of the fun out of this position for white. Can't be losing a second piece, right? So that's gonna kill it. Thanks guys for playing. I'm gonna be back with my monstrous rating. Now we'll be back with Rapid tomorrow, so the rating will be looking a little better. Still not over yet. We're only up 1 piece. Let's be careful here. Reinforce outpost. Bishop c4, a good practical move. Getting materialistic. Okay, now what? The ambulance on the way. Trading of pieces, perhaps. Bishop wasn't doing too much on c8, so I guess this is okay. I hate losing that pawn. No, he just lost his mind. He forgot it was protected. Okay, guys, thanks for playing. We will be back tomorrow night. Again, thanks from the Pandas and myself. Thanks for supporting the stream. Don't forget, I have a YouTube channel. Video chess training on YouTube. All right, guys. So tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Check out video chess training on YouTube, where I do add in all the replays. And thanks for joining us. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye bye. Bye bye.